Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, world? It's your man, Buddy Rahming, and we are back at it with another episode of the Yeah Buddy podcast. And you know how we do every episode. I always try to bring some of my friends from the entertainment business in. We sit down, chop it up, see what we got going on. This episode is like no other. So if you are a first-time person tuning in, thank you for checking it out. And if you are a returning friend to the podcast, hey, thank you for tuning back in. This episode, hey, this is a very special episode, man. We got like usually I do mostly just interview people Sacramento, Bay Area, and stuff all like that. But we got somebody not even outside of California, but all the way the dirty South, Atlanta, Georgia. Right now, I want to introduce you to my good friend. He's an actor, comedian, writer. He's going to tell you about all the great stuff he's got going on in Atlanta. Give it up for my good friend, Mr. Dexter Spencer, in the building, y'all.
Hey, yes, shout out Yay area, the entire Yay area, as my man E40 would say.
Yeah, yes, sir. You rocking the you repping for the Raiders. They're out of Oakland now, but you know, say they're still the pride of Oakland is still in the Raiders. You know.
You know, that was one of the sentiments I felt being in your city recently was that team belongs in Oakland. I'm born and raised a Raider. I've been a Raider since Bo Jackson, man. Growing up, you know, a little kid in Mississippi, man, you kind of have your pick as to what professional sports team you're gonna root for. Me personally, I've never seen anything like Bo Jackson, and I've been with the franchise ever since. That squad belongs in Oakland. I refuse to rock anything that says anything other than Oakland.
Yeah. Shout out to Oakland, man. They love support. They support their their teams, their pro sports teams. But I don't know what it is, man. But for some reason, I don't know what it is with the city or something like that. They can't keep the professional sports teams, which sucks because the community of Oakland, the city of Oakland.
I feel it's by design. We won't get into that. It's a whole other story, but it's by design. We know that Oakland is predominantly black. Yeah, and then you move everything to San Francisco where we're not. So
exactly. Yeah, we'll get to other stuff, but no, we got a lot of exciting things going on talking about. So let's talk with you. You say you was born in a small town Mississippi, but then you later relocated out to Atlanta, Georgia for school, but it wasn't really for acting. So tell me what you was doing before you got into the whole world of acting.
I panicked, man. I started out managing my baby brother and them. They decided one day that they would wake up and be rappers, and they wanted me to manage them. And the whole vision for moving to Atlanta was to make what their movement had bigger. So to get out here, go to school, intern, you know, normal. Shout out Coffeeville, Mississippi. We started everything right then and there. I got out here. I interned at a few record companies. The internship led into a lot of connections, a long sustained career, but everything popped off from me hosting the open mic. And this is what I was telling you before, how everything kind of ties in together. I feel like God was kind of putting this in my path. And because I was so focused on my own ambitions and my own path in life, I wasn't paying attention to the signs, but my open mic did significantly well. It's a legendary club here in Atlanta on the west side, Bankhead, the notorious Bankhead, called the Pool House, which had its own dances, which was a lot similar to the hyphy movement. I was a big fan of the hyphy movement, but my showcase, West Side Wednesday, along with my showcase at Tips Club Crucial, called Hustle and Flow, that I started with my late mentor, Clay Evans, God rest his soul. He was the former vice president at Grand Hustle. So we broke a lot of talent there, man. If you heard of the Shop Boys Party Like a Rock Star, B.O.B., K-Rab, Franchise Boys, we broke it. Yola the Great. I mean, we can keep going on, but we broke a lot of talent out of there. And I had a conversation with DJ T-Rock, who was the DJ there. Who had been there for years at the time when I became the host. And he told me that he'd never seen that open mic showcase like that until I got there. And I was like, what do you think it is, man? He was like, man, it's your charisma, man. It's your smile. So again, this is God putting those little tidbits in my direction, but I'm not picking up on the signs. It's just, I'm glad I figured it out before it was too late, you know?
Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. That's because like I said, I have my iPod like right here. I'm pretty old school and stuff like that. Got the iPod and stuff like that. But all those artists and stuff, all those all those artists that you had just named and stuff like that, I got them all like right, like I'm not trying to date or age myself, but like I got them all on my iPod right now, stuff like that. All a lot of those artists, you know, kind of help define like the style and stuff like that, and like, you know, how I
Absolutely.
kind of, you know what I'm saying, because that's how it was and stuff like that. You know, Atlanta, you couldn't escape that music and stuff like that. Matter of fact, the franchise boys.
Atlanta was on fire. You know what's crazy is that the equivalent of the environment in Atlanta, as far as the music is concerned, of that era, is the mirror image of what's going on in the film industry right now in Atlanta.
Yeah. That's one
It's
thing
exciting.
I was gonna say, like when you look at like all the stuff that was going on in Atlanta during like the early 2000s, like how you say with like the music boom and stuff like that, from the crunk music to the trap music to all that other stuff in between and stuff like that. Like it's no surprise that that the movie industry is what it is right now, because Atlanta kind of shifted the culture and stuff like that to where like LA is very like LA's just got money, so they're able to like spend money to kind of expose the culture. But Atlanta kind of did that thing to where like we're keeping the culture here. So like even like when you have things like the Tyler Perry Studios to all these other type of different level varies of filmmaking and stuff like that, it's all within the essence and culture of Black people, and it's beautiful.
I feel like it's just a natural maturation phase. If you got a guy that's directed over 70 videos, right? Musical videos for several artists, and they've done exceptionally well. The maturation phase for that director is going to be probably short films. After short films, probably do a documentary. After documentary, before you long, he's on a full length. Shout out to my guy, Terrence Michael. That's his exact story. He put me, Terrence Michael took a shot on me and gave me my very first role as Coach Harris in a film called short film called League Dreams. And I just did a full length film for him called I'm blessed enough to kind of get my roles mixed up at this point because I'm getting But that film is called You Never Loved Me, and I play a record exec. Coincidentally, I play a record exec in that, but that's the natural maturation phase of it. And like I say, me starting out and being able to develop and break talent via an open mic and getting the crowd to come there, I think it exuded a certain amount of personality that people really enjoyed. And I think it comes across well on the screen. And it's the reason why I've been able to enjoy my journey thus far into the acting realm so far. I think it translates well.
Yeah. I think also like you being like hosting like open mics and just constantly seeing different talent and being able to see like what like, oh, this person has the it factor, this person has, you know, this or that. You're able to take that and then bring that into, so if you know what you're looking for, I know what this person's looking for, because this person's looking for the same thing I was just looking for.
Absolutely. It gives you a chance to see, to recollect your thoughts, right, into what worked and what didn't work. Now, you might have liked the project that didn't work, but there was something about that project that did work that was absolutely different from what didn't work, right? And you can be able to make a mental note, store it in the back, and I tell you, man, all of that is very advantageous to me nowadays.
Yeah. And then so like with we was talking about how there's the natural maturation going from like a big music scene to now like a big movie scene. What was your involvement like with evolving along with Atlanta? Now you going from music to being in movies.
Well, with me, I kind of reached a point where with music, let me not miss words. It reached a point as a record exec, right? That I didn't get in this. I didn't sign up for this shit. You know, I don't want to miss words. I don't know if I could cuss on your show, but I really want.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah. We don't give a fuck.
On there. I didn't sign up for this shit. I didn't sign up for this shit. I didn't sign up for, you know. Here's a crazy thing. For a rapper to be successful now in this day and age, he has to get not only himself locked up, but everybody he knows. Now think about what I just said, right? How many rappers you can name here in Atlanta that's going through, right? Lucci, Still in
Oh
jail.
no,
I
yeah,
don't think
it's headline news. It's headline news.
Young Thug,
Mm-hmm.
NBA YoungBoy. I mean, we can keep going, but I didn't sign up for this shit.
Yeah,
I didn't sign up for this shit. So I went through a period of like, okay, what you gonna do now? Okay, so
yeah,
you done lost your passion, you done lost your flame. What are you gonna do now? I was pretty content with my decision because I felt like I got everything that I came to get out of the record industry.
yeah,
Once I started out on my own managing artists, I got my first platinum record my second year in the game. So that was kind of mission accomplished, man. I didn't want to
yeah.
be, you know, just this humongous guy in music. I just wanted to do it because that was what I was passionate about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the most important thing that we can ever experience in life is going through this period of reflection. And after that period of reflection, you have reinvention. And this is the phase that I live in every day that I wake up. And I thank the good Lord above, bro, because I'm so happy when I wake up. You can imagine my mind state and how it's different nowadays, where before I was responsible for maybe 7 people getting on a plane, making it to a show, making sure everything goes right. You know, even if everything goes right, you never get a pat on the back, you never get a bonus, you never get any of that. But the flip side of that, if things go wrong, it's all your fault. So just imagine my mind state of waking up and being like, okay, well, I got to be on set at 9:30, but I'm only responsible for me getting to that set at 9:30.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like a weight lifted. It's a chance of a lifetime for me that I don't play with. You know, I get a lot of reps in as an actor. Last year was my very first year in acting. I had some milestones that I hit pretty early. This year, I came in this year with the mentality of, okay, everything that you did that last year, okay, that was cute, but what are you going to do this year? What are you going to add to your repertoire for you to become a better actor this year? So that's when I started pursuing commercials and stage plays like my man Tim Slater just had in Oakland.
Yeah.
So you got to get those reps in. You got to do your due diligence and become a better actor. I don't want to rely on just the God-given genetics that I was given, because that's what I feel like actually makes me an actor. My grandfathers were incredible men, and some of the things that I've been given in my DNA, I'm just grateful that I have them. They have nothing to do with me. They existed long before me. So my job is to take what I've already been given and hone that craft and work on it as much as I can. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, so I want to go get into like the acting, but before we do, just one interesting thing you had said about like with the music and like you like with like what turns you off about it, like when you highlight talk about like rappers got to be in jail and try to manage people. That was more so like the business side, like that's what the industry is asking for. Like we want this type of music to like push this type of stuff out. From like and then like with you being like a record exec, like you got into the business for the art form of it, but you kind of have to strip yourself of the like the artist in me and just strictly think business. But then when you realize what the business is, that's when you kind of like lose the passion, because you're like, man, like this industry is just set up for these guys to fail and to set an example for other people to fail.
Well, everything changed in the record industry. Shout out to one of my mentors, John Betancourt. He told me in 2001, I remember being on a phone call. I was doing radio promotions at the time, taking independent records, taking them to the radio stations, the DJs, getting these records played. John tells me in like 2001 that Dex, something is getting ready to come in the music industry. And at that point, John has been a music veteran for maybe since the 60s. And he tells me something is on the horizon in the music industry, and I've never seen anything like it, but it's going to wreck the entire industry as you and I both know it. And it's all the record industry's fault. I said, John, how is it the record industry's fault? He was like, well, they're greedy. Every time that music changed formats over the years, if you think about it, they had the 45s. When they went from the 45s to the 8-track got more expensive. When they went from the 8-track to the cassette got more expensive. When they went from the cassette to the CD was almost $20. If you was lucky, you found a CD for $20. So the record industry just constantly being greedy over the years kind of did it to itself. And that kid started Napster. What John couldn't put his finger on was called Napster. And it changed everything. It made all of the record companies start consolidating. So when you have all of these record companies starting to consolidate and one starts to buy the other, of course, big bank takes little bank. So this little incubator layer over here, they may believe in developing talent, having a real dope A&R department where they're developing talent and, we got time to nurture this guy into who he's going to become. And then you have this conglomerate who has all of these private investors, or maybe even the worst, institutional investors, companies like Seagram's, companies like this of that nature. They come in and they don't care anything about developing the art, and they don't care anything about the subject matter. They don't care anything about bottom line. All we make is profit here. So it changed everything. And I was here to watch record stores close one by one. All the record stores that I love and I used to do as an intern. My job as an intern at Rubicon was to literally go and put the CDs on consignment, CDs and cassettes on consignment at the mom and pop stores. And one by one, I just watched them disappear. No matter how big and how long they were here, how much of a staple they were in the community, one by one, all of them left. And when that left, you start seeing record companies consolidate. When you start seeing record companies consolidate, they reduce staff. And it eventually got down to maybe 3 or 4 at the company. So now, and then, and God, please, now we're in the day and age where the artist doesn't need a manager, period. I mean, he really doesn't.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy times. Like I say, like the consolidated.
I became a dinosaur really quick, and then I went through that period of, okay, well, what you gonna do now? What else you passionate about in life?
Yeah. And so that's how you found it to like the acting, and you also did do comedy as well.
Absolutely. I got in this thing to be a comedian, man. Been writing constantly. Music gave me a chance to have some really funny experiences, and I'm writing screenplays off of them. But the comedy, man, just as a kid, man, watching Richard Pryor with my Uncle Robert, man, in summer times, and just going through his collection, you kind of fell in love with it, whether I knew it or not. That very first scene that you see in Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy as a kid, when he comes into the bar, that made me an actor. Little do I know, me and my stepbrother used to recreate that scene all the time. But little do I know, I became an actor that day.
Yeah, that's funny. I think that no matter what path it is, like you take like in the entertainment business, or whatever, it always kind of leads you to like, you look back at it like, oh, this is where I was kind of like meant to be and stuff like that, and all those other things.
Of the dots connect. All of the dots will connect. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I literally had show promoters who, at the end of the day, they were trying to pick between groups to what group they were going to book for that weekend, right? And I've literally had promoters tell me, like, Dexter, we only booked the group because of you. We like you. We like doing business with you. You cool. We like being around you. We went with your group because it's your group. So again, the dots starting to connect. Like, man, maybe there's something there, man. Maybe it's you, dude.
Yeah, and that charisma kind of travels further, like when you're talking about the world of like acting and all that performance art and type of stuff like that, because people just kind of like to be around. I don't know what it's something about, like people like to be around those type of personalities. Like I even see, like when I be on film sets, like I'll get booked for a lot of stand-in work, and they're just like, well, shoot, you just cool, bro. Like you just a cool dude to be around on set. Like the last thing you want is somebody who's gonna be just with the attitude or just some type of like stank personality, especially on a set, because you're on there for like 14 hours, bro. Like, yeah, we try to be chill.
Right. Be boundless energy. Energy. I'll tell you a key to that, man. A lot of people don't realize. Don't eat a big lunch or breakfast. Don't eat a big lunch or breakfast when you're on set, man. You're gonna lose your energy. And with me, energy is everything while I'm on set, man. Don't eat that big breakfast. I normally, make me a salad while I'm on set. For breakfast, I'll eat something really light, some eggs or something like that. But man, eat light on those sets. Energy is very important. And again, man, being balanced energy, man. Chemistry and energy can bring you a lot. It attracts things to you.
Mhm.
It attracts people who know anything about you. You know, we'll get into
Mhm.
that later
Yeah.
when we talk about the Bondsman. But I want to tell you how energy kind of happened on that set. You know,
Which set was it? Oh, the Bondsman.
that was the Bondsman. Yeah, the
Okay, yeah,
Bondsman.
we'll get to that in a second and stuff like that. But I want to get into we was talking about Tim earlier, so let's just get into that right now with Tim and stuff like that. I know you had I say
Okay.
you out in Atlanta and stuff like that, but you just
Mhm.
booked like your first acting gig over here on the West Coast.
Right.
Yeah. So through a good friend of mine, a personal friend of the Yeah Buddy podcast, Tim Slater. He's been a guest on the podcast.
Now,
Anybody
Tim.
saw that episode? Yes, salute to Tim. Everybody see that podcast episode. Me and Tim go way back to first acting jobs together. It was on Fruitvale Station, all the way to Freaky Tales, which just came out earlier this year. So yeah, me and Tim been in the game for about 15 years. Like you said, I feel like I turned into a dinosaur real quick too. I'm only 35, but yeah, I turned into a dinosaur real quick in this game.
It's okay, but you reinvent yourself. Look at you, brother. You got a podcast.
Yeah,
You
that's
got
what
me
it's
on.
about.
Reinvent
That's what it's
yourself.
about. Yes, that's what it's about. That's what it's about, man. So let's talk about this project that you worked on with Tim out here in the Bay Area. How did this project come about?
So I seen the casting call online, and I reached out to Tim. I sent him a reel of a couple of scenes that I've been in productions here in Atlanta, and Tim liked what he saw. He sent over the script. When he sent over the script, I absolutely loved the character. When I went on my first table read, Tim hit me back and was like, "Yo, nah, that's you. Yeah, Kofi's you."
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
everything came together. It's elite level writing. Again, I want to give credit to Tim for elite level writing. Tim gave me a line in that stage production that had the entire audience in stitches laughing. It was
Yeah,
the first time I've experienced in my life where I had to hold my next line because the audience is busy laughing. And
yeah,
listen, man, that moment, as far as stage productions is concerned, I've never done heroin, my nigga, but that's probably exactly how heroin feels. That's probably how people get hooked
yeah,
on heroin. You
yeah,
know, that response that I got from that crowd, man, it's like no other. I can't wait to do other stage plays, and not only that, work with my man Tim again, because there's also plans to make this a full-length film
yeah.
with a
One thing about
character.
the Bay Area, man, they embrace. I don't know what it is about the embrace and stuff like that, but like people will come out to the Bay Area and I don't know what it's about the love that they show to people and stuff like that. But it like people leave oh yeah, I could definitely do this. I could make it here.
Well,
Make it in this
what you guys
business.
have that's synonymous with Atlanta is that you're rich in culture, and not
Mhm.
only that, you have a power base for your structure. And when I mean power bases, here in Atlanta, we had the Dr. Martin Luther King movement. Of course, he's born and raised here in Atlanta. But you guys had the same thing with Huey Newton,
Yeah, the Black Panthers and
there
all
in
that. Yeah,
Oakland with the Panther movement. So you guys have a power base, and anytime you have a power base to Black culture, it's the experience is going to be like no other.
Mhm.
And I felt it when I was there. Trust me, I did.
yeah, yeah. And then what was the name? It was a stage play, and the way it kind of worked out is you reading like you was reading like right there on the stage. You had a whole audience there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Celestial Chains is the name of it.
Yeah.
Celestial Chains was the name of it. I had some incredible castmates. You guys have a lot of talent there in the Bay Area.
Mhm.
One of my best friends is from the Bay Area. He's from Marin City. And because of that, I'm very well versed on the music scene in
Yeah.
the Bay Area. I know that Tim is working on Jay Stalin. Shout out Jay Stalin.
Yeah.
They have a project that they're getting ready to come out with. Tim is actually doing a documentary on one of my favorite rappers.
The Jacker.
Listen,
The Jacker. Yeah.
R.I.P. to Jack. Listen,
Yeah. R.I.P. the Jack. Yeah.
shout out my homie O'Shea. Ever since he put me on to the Jacker, the very first song that I heard was the record that he did with Freeway. They Don't Know. And I listened to Tear Gas faithfully for maybe a year. I bumped it the entire time just so I had the whole vibe of Oakland. I bumped it the entire weekend I was in Oakland, just so I get the vibe of the true essence of the city. But Tim is working on a documentary for the life of Jacker. R.I.P. to Jacker, man. Wish I could have met him.
Yeah, Tim, he's got this vision that I hope it comes true and stuff like that, where he's trying to put together it's like a Marvel cinematic universe of Bay Area hip hop scene and stuff like that, and just show how it's all connected, and like if it comes through the way he plans it come through, it's gonna be a game changer. So yeah, definitely shout out to Tim and stuff like that. And like I said, he's put in the work. He's put in the work.
Tim's a go getter.
Like I said,
You're a
yeah,
go getter. The Bay Area is the home of the go getters. It'll happen.
Hey, you know what's so funny? True story is like, cause like when you say like Tim is a go getter, like, cause I said we was at the Freaky Tales, the premiere, and we was at the after party, and there was like a whole bunch of celebrities around and stuff like that. Anybody know Tim? Tim go get pictures and stuff like that. And so I was thinking about Tim the whole time, cause I'm like, I know Tim go get a picture. I'm gonna get a picture with somebody too or whatever. And like the whole time, like he wasn't really like going out and get pictures. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So I go to the food buffet, wherever, grab food for like 5 minutes, come back, he's still there just chilling or whatever. And we like literally, that's the only time I left him the whole entire time. And then I look on his Instagram page the next time. This fool got pictures with everybody. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody. I'm like, what the? I was like,
work the room. Work the room.
Yeah.
Work the room.
Yeah, Tim is that's the dude right
I was
there.
so excited to even get booked in Oakland. I want to work rooms, man. I feel like in this day and age, man, there's a lot that we could do over the internet, but there's absolutely nothing that's gonna replace a good old-fashioned handshake. Being able to read people's energy, connect in a certain way through conversation. There's nothing that's ever going to replace that, man.
Yeah. And what motivated you to want to even like travel out to the Bay Area for it? Was that just like a personal like checklist goal for you this year?
Stage production. I had two goals this year. I wanted one to get booked outside of, again, I don't want to be known as an Atlanta actor. Actor worldwide. So one was to be booked outside of the region. I didn't not just Atlanta. Okay, cool. I get booked in Atlanta in the South. Like I told you, I'm in Alabama this weekend. I get booked out here quite often. But one goal was to book a role outside of the market. The second one was watching the Viola Davis and Denzel Washington and Anthony Mackie interviews. These guys all have a synonymous trait, and that thing that I'm speaking of is stage plays. Denzel has always quoted the fact that you don't learn how to act on film, you learn how to act on stage. And when somebody of Denzel Washington's caliber makes an impactful statement like that, you tend to listen. He's one of the greatest.
Yeah, no, I definitely noticed that, because like I say, you could because I like to my like with me, like one of the things I say, like when I first started acting, is I kind of had like bad mentorship. And so there was kind of like this thing where there's all like there's a difference between being a film actor and being a stage actor. You don't really want to be a stage actor, you want to be a film actor. But then, like I said, like as I was growing in the film industry, I kind of noticed that like I did become more of a filmmaker as opposed to being like an actor. Like I could do almost any job on the set. Like, so I do a lot of stand-in work or whatever it may be. But like that main focus of just being like an actor, I definitely seen where I was kind of like lacking on that end. And I definitely feel that if I had took a more serious approach to and I can still do it, of course, so this is why like I've realized that, take a more serious approach to it. This is where like, okay, I know I can excel acting wise.
Absolutely. Iron sharpens iron, and that's what you have in theater. Like I say, man, the cast of Celestial Chains, incredible actors, man, all of them, and just enjoy being around that kind of talent, that kind of elite level writing, that atmosphere, that environment, man. It was just a beautiful experience, man.
Yeah. So with the whole entire stage production that went on in Oakland, what was the entire night kind of like, the itinerary?
So we wasn't the only stage production that night. We were one of five. We were actually the headliner. We went last. Nice. But the other four plays were all exceptional. I didn't get a chance to really tune into them like I would like to, because they kind of had the green room separate. But you could just hear from the crowd's reaction, they were definitely in full stride with enjoyment. Like they really enjoyed the night. It was sponsored by the Betty Ono Foundation, which is a nonprofit for women there in the Bay Area. So we were really glad to be a part of that as well.
Nice.
Shout out to Miss Cecilia Peters. Also, she was over the event and directed one of the stage plays as well. I think she wrote and directed it. She's a cold piece of work, man. Miss Peters, a cold piece of work.
And what was her name one more time so people will hear it?
Miss Peters, Cecilia Peters.
Okay, sure. Yeah, shout out to Miss Cecilia Peters and shout out to Tim Slater, everybody over at the that what was the name of it? What was it again? The name of the
That
event?
so it was called The Next 15 Minutes, and it was
That's
given
right.
by the Betty Ono Foundation.
Cool. Yeah,
Right
the
there
next
downtown
15 minutes.
Oakland, Oakstop. You guys call it
Okay.
Oakstop, California.
Okay, cool. Perfect. And so now let's we'll take it back down to Atlanta and stuff like that. You said you had been like pursuing the acting for about a year or so.
Yes.
So what if I was let's say like an up and coming actor getting started in Atlanta? What are kind of like the steps that you took to like get into acting? Are you signing up for like casting websites? Like you know you have to look for like an agent.
Absolutely. There's a ton of things that you can do online, right? Just go to casting calls. They're everywhere. They're on Facebook. They're on IG. They're on everywhere. You can literally go Google them. But I feel like the most important thing that I did becoming an actor was surrounding myself with other actors. They will show you the ropes. You become familiar with the lingo. You become familiar with the process. You get familiar with what's being expected of you on that camera when you hit it. You get a gist of what it's like to prepare for a role. It's just like any other thing. Literally, it was the same way in the music industry. You know, I went and interned and I sat under a record company CEO is how I got it. So again, the best thing that an aspiring actor can do is surround yourself with other actors. Surround yourself with someone that's willing to be a mentor. When I say mentor, I don't mean a babysitter. I don't mean an adult babysitter. You're an adult. Being proactive means everything to anything that you want to do in life. But surround yourself with other actors.
Yeah.
You know,
and
there's a ton of guys out there that's willing to give you some game.
Yeah, the key word that you had said there that always strikes me is when you said like mentorship, especially in this type of business, because there's no real like you can't really like go out and like look up on Indeed or something like that to find like a job application for actor or something that you kind of like you have to find your way into it and find your way through it. And so when you find like a mentor that like kind of show you the ropes and stuff like that, show you like you said not babysit you, but really, hey, this is how you move in this business if you really want to make it. That man mentorship take you way further than any acting talent that you have.
Absolutely. That and just being an all-out hustler. Being an all-out hustler, because you have to have a hustle. You have to have. With me, it was kind of like second nature. Like I'm still not represented by an agent right now, and I know that's due to come because of the things that I have that's waiting on release right now, which is going to give me a lot more exposure as an actor. But I don't have a problem booking myself. I book talent 15 to 20 something odd years. So I don't have a problem booking myself and keeping myself busy. It's more or less about whether the role fits me and what do I think about the project overall and the potential of the project.
And so you have some projects coming up. It's called Hell's Desire.
Yeah, shout out Dr. Maya Speller. Dr. Maya Speller is a wonderful story within herself. She is a strong sister here in Atlanta. She's a executive producer here in Atlanta. She has made the transition. Another person who's also reinvented herself, but she started out writing books, and from books she crossed over into film. I think Hell's Desire may be her 7th or 8th film. You know, she's already had a fan base. I was already excited to do that project because I knew of her fan base already. And I played the Reverend James Thornton in Hell's Desire, her film that's due to come out really, really soon. But very interesting character. I call him the most unique, most interesting man in the world. Never mind the Saki guy. No, Reverend James Thornton is the most interesting guy in the world. And when you guys get a chance to see Hell's Desire, you'll see why I say what I said.
Can you give us a little backstory or little tidbits? I don't want you to give us too many secrets or whatever, but just a little bit about the character's backstory.
You should never hire me again.
Yeah, all good. It's all good. And so, did you already did you already film that, or is that the one that you're about to go out to film?
No, that's already filmed. Hell's
Okay.
Desire is already filmed. It's in post-production, and we are anxiously awaiting a release date, as well as quite a few other projects. But the film that I'm doing this weekend is called Black Grove, and that's directed by a brother named Eli Thornton. Black Cotton Films. Shout out everybody over at Black Cotton Films. That's a television show, and I play another interesting character on there, RJ Chaney. And RJ, I absolutely love that character because all of the experts in the game, quote unquote experts in the game, will tell you go after the role that's nothing like you in real life. And RJ is nothing like me in real life. RJ is a player hater to the 5th degree. You know, he ain't got no love. He wants to be the star of the show. He ain't trying to help nobody. You know, he wants to star. All eyes on him. It's his world, and everybody else just lives in it. So RJ Chaney is nothing like me. And for that fact, I feel like he's the ultimate challenge, and I can't wait to do that.
Yeah. What's your process like for like breaking down characters? Like you said, that character is such a contrast from who you are as a person and stuff like that. What's your process like of getting into character? Then is there like a process that you have for like even getting out of character?
Right. I'm glad you asked me that. You know what? I've been giving some real game. Shout out to my guy Omar. Omar is the director of photography on Hell's Desire, but he explained to me through conversation because he also directs his own films. Also, he's got a really dope film. I'm begging him to get in that one. He's got a really dope one on slate to come out himself. But Omar gave me some real game, and he told me, hey, you know, always create the backstory to the character. You know, and I was like, what do you mean backstory? He's like, well, you know, if the guy, like, let's say, for instance, you know, he's just a regular character, right? But you add little things to him because of his experiences in life and things that he's gone through. Like maybe he's OCD and he just moves shit around while he's having a conversation with somebody during dialogue. It's just adding to the character and giving the character a backstory. So now, anytime that I prepare for a character, I try to give him a backstory. Why does this guy feel the way he feels? You know, what shaped him to feel the way that he feels? It was important for me to do that with Kofi and to play for Celestial Chains. Celestial Chains, with Kofi's character, he's more of a pessimist. You know, he was the one guy that didn't have the village mentality. And, you know, through talking with Tim, and Tim gave me the backstory for it, but it was still kind of the same for what I was thinking in my head without him telling me. Now, Tim confirmed that in person, that he wrote the character based off of the fact that Kofi's entire family got killed when the slave traders came to get him. So he's kind of lost all hope that things are going to work out, as opposed to, you know, Amiri's character, who, you know, he's still holding on to a flint of hope that his family is still alive and he'll still reconnect to him. So little backstories like that are very important for character development, you know?
Yeah. And that also makes like the process of like once you get like onto the film set, it makes it even like funner, because then like even like when you break it down, like the scene, you understand that like, oh, every character like going into this scene, every character has a goal in mind. So what is my character's goal? What is my character trying to achieve? And then when you break down the fact that, oh, I could maybe have 3 different goals in mind, you know what I'm saying, to still get to the same whatever it is I'm trying to achieve or whatever, then that's what becomes fun as an actor, because like now every take could be the same, but, you know, different.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely. Now you're adding layers to the character.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And then when you do that, the director's like, whew, oh, thank God, I'm a professional.
A huge relief, because you're adding layers to the character, you know.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure like the last thing the director wants to see in like the cutting room floor, like when they're editing the film, is every single take from the actor is exactly the same way. They're like, what's the point of so many takes if everything's the freaking same way?
I had a chance to watch one of the greats. I got booked on Fight Night that came out on Peacock. Yeah, let me tell you about that, man. I feel like if they released that on anything else besides Peacock, man, we are dealing with a worldwide phenomenon that people would still be talking about right now, and literally leaving work, trying to get home and catch the latest episode of it. But it came out on Peacock. A lot of people are rocking with Peacock, and I'm not down at NBC. NBC got hella money. I would love to work with them again. So trust me, this ain't like the NBC. It's just that Peacock as a streaming site has a ways to go. But watching Sam work on fight night, I watched him do a take when we were in the basement scene, and Sam comes down, and we're all being robbed there in the basement, and Sam comes down and he has dialogue with the robber. He does it 4 different takes, but every time he comes down that step, it's a different take, and every time it gets better. And just watching somebody like that giving this buffet to the director of different flavors that he can pick from during the editing process, it has to be gold to the directors to watch guys like that, you know, be able to add to a character and bring life to a character that they didn't even envision.
And just for people's clarification, we talk about Sam, we talk about Samuel L. Jackson, we talk about the fight that produced like with Kevin Hart and all them.
I was very fortunate enough to be locked in the basement with these people for 12 days. That's Terrence Howard, that's Samuel Jackson, Clifton Powell. Shout out Clifton Powell. He gave me a bunch of game. Terrence Howard gave me a bunch of game. Man, what a joy to be around your people who are on that level and see that they're still your brother and they're still willing to see your way through the game. You know,
ain't that the dopest thing in the world though, bro? Because you wouldn't really get that experience. Like you could meet somebody like, because I met Denzel Washington one time, like just randomly, like at like a basketball game, like years ago and stuff all like that. But like, and he was still very good interaction and stuff like that. But it's totally different when you're like on a movie set working with these actors, because like I said, now it's almost like, okay, we're coworkers. I'm not a fan walking up to you. Like there's a mutual understanding that we're both here to do a job. We both got a job to do, and even though like, you know, I may not be getting your pay or whatever, but I'm still professional.
Absolutely. And you know what, my experience in the record industry helped me to take those moments in stride. They were seamless. They were very seamless. Seeing that I'd already been around the likes of some of the greats in music and still have a personal relationship with some of the greats in music, you know, I was well prepared for that.
Yeah.
You know, I knew not to be unprofessional at any given time. You know, you're here to do a job. You know, NBC spent money on you to be here. They got a position for you to fill, and it doesn't involve bothering the other talent.
No, yeah. It's expensive. It's expensive on a movie set, bro. The last thing you want to do is cause. The last thing you want to do is be unprofessional in any sort of way.
What blows your mind is to watch some of those production companies and how they run through their money, boy. Do they do some money?
When you see that money, you know this is zero tolerance policy. I am here to work, bro.
I was on the production recently, right? And they made me. I had a character as a construction worker. And I get there, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm a construction boots." I'm like, "Nah, I don't wear construction boots and this, that, and third." You know, she was a female actually, and she was like, I guess she was from the East Coast or something. You know, they assume every guy has Timberlands in their wardrobe, and I'm like, "No, I'm a Southern guy. I wear Stacey Adams, stuff like that." You know, but she goes out when they figured out that I don't have any Timberlands. They go out to the store, they buy a brand new pair of boots. When the boots get to the set, she starts scrubbing them against the street in the ground. And I'm like, "Yo, what are you doing? Those are brand new boots." And her response is, "Oh, we got to make them dirty. We got to make it look like you actually did some work." And that's when you just kind of dawns on you like, "Yo, y'all got way too much money, man. Y'all know y'all know people living on the streets and shit out here."
They're like, "Matter of fact, you can keep these afterwards."
Right. Like they could care less, bro. They could care less.
So what are some of the bigger productions that you worked on? Like, assuming like when you worked on like Fight Night, that was kind of like he was like an extra, like a background role.
Yeah, well, I got featured on Fight Night. What I got featured on is a food delivery guy, and I was there. My whole point, you know, Kevin ends up screaming on us, and we have to help one of his mistresses get something out of the car or something of that nature. And then I'm one of Samuel Jackson's henchmen who gets robbed him in the basement. So I got featured on that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Feature work. That's like I said. That's cool work, bro. Just because I say you feel like I'm somebody. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like, I
extra.
feel like
Yeah,
I'm
extra.
somebody
You
today.
be like, oh, there I am, right there. And you
Yeah,
have to point it and
yeah.
feature this. And yeah,
You ain't
feature
got to,
is not
you ain't got to point or
none of
nothing
that.
and stuff
Like,
like
no,
that.
you know what
Like
I mean?
people see, I
I'm
may
right
not
there.
have no lines. Don't worry, I don't got no lines, but I'm a person. I'm a character there. You see it. That's all that matters. Yeah.
It was the same thing with the Bondsman. I got featured on episode 6, 7, and 8, and that's what I was telling you about earlier about chemistry. Is just people have this thing where they know if you take something serious, they're willing to take a shot on you. Now, shout out to
Yeah.
Miss Cat. Miss Cat directed episodes 6, 7, and 8 of the Bondsman. But I know Miss Cat must have took notice to the fact that anytime that I wasn't shooting the scene, I was quietly and politely, not disturbing anybody, but I was quietly peeping what she was doing as a director.
Mm.
Because in my mind, again, I'm a writer, so I have aspirations to direct my own productions very soon, actually. So I'm always taking these lessons as I can't pay for this in film school. Like you can't pay for this kind of
Mhm.
knowledge, right?
Yeah.
So I'm always sitting there and I'm watching the director, and I think she peeped that like this guy really takes this serious. So one day I get booked, and she uses me in every scene. I mean, absolutely. I'm in every scene. I'm right there with the main character. Shout out Miss Denitra, who plays Sheriff Ruby.
Mhm.
And then she had me escort Kevin out of the series ends up with me arresting Kevin. And when everything was wrapped, and I've never been a part of a television show at this point, I'd never been a part of a television show on the last day when it actually wraps. So I go over
Mm.
to Miss Kevin to give her my thanks for her actually, giving me the light that I did. And she tells me one thing that solidifies everything for me at that moment. And she tells me, she was like, yeah, you and Trevin was another actor that was on the Bondsman as well. She was like, I just want you guys to know that anytime you guys were booked, it's because I specifically requested for you guys. You guys are really good actors. And this is a lady from Australia who I have no connections with, never met in my life whatsoever. But again, chemistry, being there in the moment, her absorbing how serious I took it and how much effort that I actually put into being an actor, it paid off for me. So I just want to tell everybody, man, take everything, every opportunity that you have in life, take it serious, man.
Mhm.
Take it serious. You never know who's watching. And believe me, somebody's always watching.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, like, if you ever get a chance to, I don't know if you've done like stand-in work or anything like that, but if you ever get a chance to do like stand-in work, that's like film school and acting school just combined, because you have to follow around whatever actor it is that you're following around, and you gotta watch how they act and their mannerisms and how, like, you gotta, because basically, like, when they're setting up the scene, you're the person that they're using to set the lighting and all that type of stuff. So you have to literally just watch this actor all day. But then on the flip side too,
I'm not above doing anything that's going to make me better as an actor. And I've
no,
seen
yeah,
standing, watch what they do
yeah,
and what they've been able to, the knowledge they've been able to attain, because the main characters 9 times out of 10 they standing in for the main character.
mm,
So again, anything that's going to make me better as an actor, man,
yeah,
I'm in this to win it.
yeah.
And anything that's going to make me a better actor, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Standard work will do that, and like I said, that'll get you in with the crew too, because that's what you technically are. You're a member of the crew. So now you know the lighting crew. Now you know the grip crew. Now you know all these PAs. So now when it comes time for, like how you say, you got your productions that you're trying to get off the ground, man, you got all of them right there, because that's what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And watch how you treat people. Kids
mm,
out there, watch how you
yeah,
treat people. I can't
yeah,
tell you how many times I've seen people in the record industry start out as interns and people treat them like dirt. And the next thing you
hmm,
know, that person has an artist that walks into a building one day and has to get
mm,
cleared for a budget. And what do you know? The guy that you used to treat like dirt is the check signer.
yeah, yeah. Same with these production assistants, man. These production assistants, they start off like that's basically damn their internship
Absolutely.
right there, work too. Then next you know, they're the
Absolutely.
producer on the film. They're the exec or whatever it may be. They're the person signing off on the check. You're like, what the hell?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Why you
yeah,
treat people.
yeah. Treat everybody with the respect. Be cool. You know what I'm saying? Just like I said, at the end of the day, you're on a movie set, bro. Like
Absolutely.
you could have a bad day on a movie set, but a bad day on a movie set is better than just a good day at a regular job. So it's a
Absolutely.
blessing.
Absolutely. I had the best job in the world, bro. I'm
Yeah,
not complaining.
yeah. but it's a job nonetheless. But yeah, it's a wonderful job. Before we do wrap up this episode, was there anything that you wanted to? I know we talked about The Bondsman, which is a show on Amazon Prime that stars Kevin Bacon. You're on episode 6, 7, and 8. We catch you on Fight Night on Peacock. You got Hell's Desire coming out next year. A whole bunch of stuff, man. A whole bunch of stuff, man. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah. A few more. I play a defense attorney in Through Jonah's Eyes, a production called Through Jonah's Eyes. We actually shout out my guy Daniel who directed that one. He just hit me the other day and emailed and was like, "Yo, that film is finished. We're just waiting, trying to decide what theater we're going to debut it in." But I play a defense attorney in that one. There's a upcoming production called Twisted Love where I play Pastor Calvin Drake. Shout out to my guy Jamal. He's directing that one. Shout out to my guy Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike runs a production company called Uncle Mike's Productions, and I'm in 2 of his projects. I'm in Fine Print, which I'm also doubling as a writer. Shout out to my guy Keon. Shout out to the guy that plays Johnny, who was another really hilarious comedian. D'Anthony Turner. I don't know why I was having a brain.
Yeah. He does. He does a lot of shows. He does. He'll come out here for was one of the stand-up comedians. My partner Michael Calvin Jr. He does. He has a comedy show called the Say Loud Comedy Show at the Laughs Unlimited Comedy Club up here. And D'Anthony Turner, I think he was just up here a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, he comes up here pretty regularly to do that show.
He is a grinder. That's why I'm so excited about Fine Print. I feel the chemistry and this magnetic connection amongst everybody that's on set when we're at Fine Print. So I'm really excited about that. And not only that, but getting out some examples of me and what I offer as a writer. And we just had a really dope writers meeting just a couple of weeks ago. And I'm really excited about that one. And then on the other side of that, Uncle Mike also has one called Lena the Seventh Letter, where I played the father of one of the characters, Brianna, which is really dope because that's a suspense and a thriller. So let me see if I got all of the productions out that I'm waiting on right now. I think I do. I think I do. Oh, Crooked Suits. Crooked Suits. Okay. Shout out Kimberly Johnson. She put me in that. Crooked Suits. I play Councilman Robinson.
Nice.
Yeah. I think I covered the gist of them. I know that's
good. Yeah. No, it sounds like you got a busy 2025 into 2026. So that's good. Yeah, that's what you want to be. Hey, it's slow up here in the Bay Area, man. That all the work, man, and all the work be moving out to Atlanta, man. I'll be looking at that. I'm like, what, man? I might have to make a stop out there or something, man. It'd be dry up here.
You guys are the pioneer to. You guys wrote the blueprint on how to make money in the record industry. Let's be real about that. Yeah. Let's be real about that. I'm a diehard E40 fan, so I know about Uncle St. Charles. And I know that Uncle St. Charles also taught Master P. So you guys have the blueprint to the music industry on how to get money out of this thing. So I would tell not only yourself, but everybody else in the Bay Area, my guy Tim Slater and everybody, take that chance. Ryan Coogler has already proved that you can pull it off, right? Yeah. But take that chance. Create anytime there's a void in the market and you feel that market, it's worth millions, if not billions, if not trillions. But you guys have a huge void in the market. Y'all got a wonderful story to tell. There's so many artists, stories that need to be told. I'm still waiting on the Mac Dre movie. I would love to see Mac Dre.
I think Steph Curry's actually signed on as a co-producer for that, or at least it's a documentary. But yeah, we got something on the way.
I would love to see a Mac Dre movie again. There should be another Black Panther movie, man. The Black Panther movie was dope, but cool. There's so many untold stories from our culture that needs to be told. That's based right there in Oakland.
Facts.
You guys have a blueprint as far as the music industry is concerned. Take that blueprint, translate it to the film industry.
Yeah, I mean, I see. I definitely see that.
Y'all in the rare market, man, where y'all don't really need much outside the market to support anything.
Yeah, no, that is
always admired that about you guys.
Yeah, we've always had that kind of independent grind to us.
It's always been there, man. I mean, you guys in Atlanta, the average person in Atlanta don't know who a Filthy Rich is. But when they get out there, they find out Filthy Rich is the man.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah, hey, I thank you. I appreciate the words of wisdom, man, words of inspiration and stuff like that. Dexter, man, before we get out here, tell the people where they could find you if they want to follow you on social media.
Okay, cool. So on Instagram, it's at Dex Can't Do It, Can't Be Done. The B in there is just B. Dex Can't Do It, Can't Be Done. All together, like a pimp named Slipback. All together.
Yeah.
Dex Can't Do It, Can't Be Done. On Facebook, DECKS, Dex Spencer. TikTok, same thing. Dex Can't Do It, Can't Be Done.
For sure. And like I said, y'all already know you can follow me at Buddy ENT at everywhere. And you can go to yeahbuddyent.com if you want to follow me more about Buddy podcast or my stand-up comedy, my sketches, and all that good jazz. Like I said, this has been the Buddy podcast. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope to catch y'all.
I appreciate you too, buddy.
I appreciate you, Dexter, man. All the way from the ATL, bro. I appreciate this. I appreciate this link up, bro. So yeah, I'll definitely have you back on in the future, stuff like that, to see what you got going on down there. But tune in once I stop the recording or whatever. Don't leave the studio yet, though, stuff like that. Okay. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this has been the Buddy podcast, y'all. This has been Buddy Rahming. I will catch you on the next episode, y'all. Deuces.
Good show.